Yo, what's up, guys? Phil Shocker, the Nice Stitch Hedgehog here with a quick little video for you guys. First off, I have to re-record this because my computer literally started right when I was going to do this video as well. So, I'm going to go ahead and just make this video nice and short and quick, and I will not be uploading this till after week 5, just in case my opponents are watching my videos, and I want to make sure they do not see this beforehand. But we made some transactions. You only get 3 free agencies and stuff like that. I literally used up all 3 of them for my picks. And let's go with that. So if you guys can, hit that like button down below already. Subscribe to join the Phil Shocker crew today because you be for really kick out the crew. So let's go over. So we dropped, sadly, Salazzle, Plumeria. Salazzle really didn't do anything for this team at all. It doesn't do much except just be a special breaker and speed. And even though, yes, Corrosion's really good, and the fact that we could have benefited from Nasty Plot or Specs or something like that, it's just the Pokemon, it didn't do too much for the team. It literally didn't. It didn't do too much at all for us. I've only brought it to me like 2 games, and it hasn't done anything. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't know how to play the Pokemon. Maybe I just don't know how to use Salazzle. Maybe that's it. But I dropped Salazzle. I mean, Salazzle is still a really good Pokemon with Taunt, Encore, and stuff like that. It can just be a good, decent Versa. I might try Salazzle again in the future. Who knows? Also, we dropped King Julian, the Passimian. Passimian was not bad. Like, I'm not going to lie, I would be potentially open to try Passimian again. Base AE speed's not bad for the fact of Scarfers and Web's team support, which is really good. Defiant is a really good ability. It's a decently bulky Pokemon. It's a really strong attacker. I'm not dropping this after what happened last week with it. I'm just saying that right now. I'm dropping it because you already got spoiled on what it was, but there was a certain fighting type that got dropped, and I wanted it on my team. But Passimium's not bad. Again, Defiant's really good. Raises your stats drops in case you get lowered, so Intimidate makes it now +2 and a +1 itself, so it's really good Pokemon and stuff like that. And just it's a relatively decent Pokemon. It's not a fantastic Pokemon. It's not really not at all, but it's for a fighting type, it's not bad. It's not bad. And we dropped Sneasel. I was not bringing Sneasel into any pretty much of my games except you're going to see for week 5 because it was decent in week 5. And to be honest, I don't know if I really needed a secondary Dark type and a secondary Ice type. Like, I don't think it was. I mean, having Sneasel is also not bad. It's also not great. It gave me a great speed tier. It's a relatively good attacker, and it has inner focus, so it prevents from flinching. Pit Pocket's not bad, so if you steal that, you lose your item, and you can try to pick back their item back. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not, okay? But I just didn't really see this thing coming to any one of my games. Like, it didn't do much for the team that I really felt was super good for the team itself. I just didn't see it doing much, so that's where I left it on that. So these are the 3 drops we made, and we basically used up all our transactions for these 3. So I dropped 1 tier 3 and 2 tier 4, so I can pick up a new tier 3 and a tier 4. So let's go ahead and do what we did. So our new tier 3 Pokemon is Gladiator the Sirfetch'd. Now, there's a reason why I grabbed Sirfetch'd. Now, yes, Sirfetch'd is not a fast Pokemon. It doesn't really look like it benefits a Web's team. But there's something that Sirfetch'd does offer my team. It offers me a relatively decently good, okay defensive fighting type. It allows me a steadfast user, so obviously I can raise my own speed if I'm flinched. But main thing I got from this thing was Scrappy. This thing lets me check ghost types now, so I don't have one mon that's a definitive answer to ghost types. And I don't have another one that's weak to a ghost type move and stuff like that. I now have something that checks ghost types. And if you do not know, I'm immune to Intimidate now. Scrappy got a buff this generation to where we are now immune to Intimidate. So that is just super good to have on a Pokemon that can, with a base 135 attack. If you look at my defenses, it's better than my Passimian in that sort of regard, but speed stat's not the best. But the fact that this thing is access to First Impression, which is base 90, off of a base 135 attack stat, is just wild in itself. I definitely think this is a relatively good Pokemon. And I will admit, at first, I didn't see Sirfetch'd being so good. But after some people have used it, and after using it in that one battle, probably when the one battle, it killed a Gigantamax, Grimmsnarl, Celesteal, Defensive, and a Mega Latios all in one battle by itself. The G-Max Grimmsnarl only had some chip damage beforehand before I killed it, but I was still killing it one shot no matter what. But this Pokemon's so good, and honestly, it gives me a default gotcha now. So now I have more than one way to now remove hazards on my city instead of only one way to remove hazards. Because spinners are pretty much gone at this point, and there's nothing else I really want. And so there's like change my fighting type. That wasn't this, but I love Surf Edge. I really, and spoilers, I may or not be using this in another draft league. That soon or may not be coming up. We don't know yet. But Surf Edge, I love it. It's a great Pokemon. I'm really excited to use it for these last roughly 3 to 4 weeks. So it's gonna be a fun one. Up next, we have Flareon, and it's my homie Zach. And I named it Zach for the fact that, one, my buddy Zach, aka the Weather Gamer, he's enjoyed using Flareon in APA, and I think I named this after him. I already named the Corviknight Chicago after him because he's my IRL bro, but I thought I named him after the Flareon just because Flareon's a good, decent Pokemon. Flareon is actually relatively decent for this team for the fact that it gives me a fire resist with Flash Fire, but it gave me another physical offensive Pokemon. When you look at my team is not, it's semi-balanced in offense, but primarily leans a little more special than it does physical. My main physical mons are Grimmsnarl, which is more likely optional, Mamoswine, and that was it. Not counting the mons I dropped. Goodra can be physical if it's run right, but now with this, I have true physical walls, and the rest of my team can run special. And Guts Flareon is really good. Facade, Flare Blitz, Fire Fang, like this Pokemon can click some buttons versus teams. Actually, just let me see. And also, there was one thing this Pokemon gave me. It gave me Wish support for this team and a relatively decent Fire type. This thing's really especially defensive, which is really good. It can be run physically defensive most times if it's in the right time. But this thing gave me a lot of options for a team. It gave me a defensive option with Wish. It gave me another Baton Pass user, which is super good because I can do Flame Charge, Baton Pass, and head out that way. That Pokemon is really relatively good. And plus one speed passing can be super better than having to do an agility baton passing. Because this way I can always Flare Blitz or Flame Charge on a water type, baton pass out, and get something in that is faster or handles this water type more efficiently. That's what I love about this Pokemon, actually. And I'm really excited to try Flareon out. I've never used it before. It may be the only time I ever try it since there's only a few weeks left of the season. So I'm really interested to try it. And lastly, we got rid of our Sneasel for Rosie. Now, this is a very questioning pick. I will understand that. But I want to hear you out here. First off, I had to replace my poison typing. And two, I got a typing I did not have on my team that I really did need my team just for people to potentially have to think about. Had to think about on this team. And this is Roselia. Roselia doesn't give me a bulky Pokemon. I mean, relatively Spadef bulky, it does. It doesn't give me a really physically defensive Pokemon. And it doesn't give me really the best grass or poison type or fast Pokemon. But what did give me was Spikes and now Toxic Spikes. So now I have all 4 main entry hazards of Rocks, Spikes, Stealth Rock, Spikes, Sticky Whip, and Toxic Spikes. I have all 4 forms of hazards on my team round, which means people have to literally be forcing themselves to be bringing the Rapid Spinners, having to force themselves to bring Defog every single week versus me, which is really benefits my team because I waste one move. That one move that Pokemon can't run could be the difference between winning a matchup or losing a game. So that's going to be really good. And Roselia, again, it gives me a really decent special attacker. It gives me access to things like Leech Seed, Giga Drain. It did lose. No, again, this is emphasis still. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Gen 8, anything goes. I'm pretty sure that's our format. Synthesis. So it can be built bulky. It can be built bulky. I don't know how well built bulky, but it can be a Pokemon that can potentially bring as a Focus Sash user or an E-Violet user if I really wanted to. But that is going to be it for this transaction video. Actually, it was supposed to be a short video. I made almost my 10 long minute video style like I usually do. But that's going to be our transactions, guys. I think these transactions worked out really good. Let me know which transaction you think was the best one for the team. All being said, though, I've been Phil Shocker, the nicest hedgehog, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, next time, guys, peace.